If you're watching the replay, welcome. My name is Jonathan Lewis. I am a psychic medium, and this is Building Connections. The only thing is, we can't build any connections till somebody actually goes on the live. So we're just going to wait patiently. Mhm. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Usually takes a minute or two for everybody to pop in. Yep. Any minute now. Oh, there we go. Tasha, I'm first. I'm good, Rebecca. Thank you. Hey, Sunshine. Hey, Rach. Hey, D. Good to see you. Hey, Catherine. Brandy. Vive. Vivi, sorry. VV, yes. I'm doing well, thanks, Rach. Hope you guys are doing well. It's a great day today up in the Northeast. It's a beautiful day. It was like 76 degrees, sunny, breezy. I mean, it was just great. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Linda. Good evening to you as well. How you doing, Catherine? I'm doing good, Catherine. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. Um, as you know, I like to go live on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. here on YouTube to talk about everything metaphysical. Dad's good, Catherine. Thanks for asking. I will let him know you asked. One of these nights, I'm gonna get him to go live with me. Like, I'll just bring him up here and let him sit next to me, and we'll go live, talk about stuff, talk to shit, you know? No, V, my daughter did not feel guilty about leaving me alone. If some of you saw, I put a post up about, I had to go to motor vehicles with my daughter the other day. And when we were done, we were both hungry. I was like, "Oh, I'm hungry." She's like, "Yeah, me too." I'm like, "Hey, you wanna get some lunch?" She's like, "I would love to." I feel like that guy, like the father that's like, can't get his kids to sit down with him for 2 minutes, but that's not the case, but I did in that moment. And she was like, "Well, I got a lot of things to do. I gotta go here, I gotta go there, because I got it." But then I was just like, getting lunch by myself in a car, which I normally do anyway. It's not a big deal, but I made a big deal out of it. So, yeah, she laughed her butt off. Dainty dreamer, I had a tower moment. It hurts. Oh. So some of you know that, well, maybe you don't know this. I don't know if I ever talked about this before, but I will talk about it real quick now. There's this spot by my house when I drive out for the day. It's like a little hill. Like, you gotta go up this little, like, section of a hill, and you really can't see who's coming the other way because it's like it kinda goes up and back down again, and it's really narrow. There's a lot of narrow road there, and I swear to you, every single time I go up this little section of road, there's always a car coming the other way. Always. I mean, it's just uncanny, and it's becoming like a joke. Like, I take my youngest son to work in the morning sometimes, if I'm going out his way, and he said, he's like, "It's ridiculous." I go, because I said to him, I go, you watch, there's gonna be a car coming the other way." And sure enough, as soon as I get to the top of that hill, there's another car coming. Then we both have to slow down, and that whole thing you do when you kind of look at them, they're looking at you, like, who's gonna pull over a little more, and then you kind of like slowly go by each other, hoping your, side mirrors don't touch, and then you just take off. Well, that's been going on for like a couple of years now. Like, it's not like there's a lot of traffic. There's no traffic on this road ever. It's like a private little road, and then but it's always on that hill. There's a car coming the other way. So it's becoming like a thing now where when we talk about connecting with our guides, and kind of doing exercises for that. That's one of my exercises. I like when I get near that hill, I'll ask them like, "Car coming or not?" I'll see like yes or no in my head. Like, "Yes, car's coming." I'm like, "Okay." And sure enough, I get up there and there's a car coming. And sometimes they'll say no, and there's no car coming, so it's fine. Well, today, they got me. because I was going up the hill. I was going to get a pizza for me and my son, and I was getting near the hill. It's a Sunday, right? I'm like, "There's no cars gonna be coming, right?" So I said, "Car coming?" And in my head, I heard, "No." I was like, "Oh, I didn't think so." Would you believe, like, I got to the top of the hill and there was a person. Oh, sorry, reversed. Reverse it, reverse it. I said, "Car coming?" They said, "Yes." And I was like, "There's no car coming. It's Sunday. There's never gonna be cars coming." But I said, "Is there a person? Like, is there somebody at the top of the hill?" And they said, "Yes." And when I got to the top of the hill, there was a person standing there. They weren't even in a car. They were just standing there. They were waiting to cross over to go look at the horses. And, um, and I just laughed out loud. I'm like, "You told me there was somebody up here and you were right." So I thought that was kinda cool in its own way. But you can have, like, those kinda connections with your guys, you know? It's not like a test for them, it's more like you learning to understand what they're saying. So they'll know if something's coming or not. You can ask those questions. They'll always answer. But I sat there and I went like, "Ah, you got me," because they said somebody was coming, and sure enough, there was. Uh, Catherine's John, I like the app. Are you psychic? Yes, I am psychic. Well, you have to be psychic to be a medium. So, yes. Well, it's good to see everybody today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to call this Building Connections. That's what the name of this live is. Eventually, I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently. I was contemplating possibly doing a podcast. I don't know. I'm tossing it up in the air. Um, I like to speak my mind, as some of you might know. And sometimes I feel like I'm a little limited on these kinds of platforms like TikTok and YouTube. And I was thinking like maybe I'll go out a little further and start my own podcast and start talking about what actually makes me want to talk and start putting out my opinion more about whether it's the work or anything else. But I feel like it's important to have like a voice of discernment around this. There's only one other person that I know of that has a podcast out. By the way, if you don't follow her on that podcast, I don't know why you don't. But you guys know I talk about Andy Ray all the time. But I listen to her podcast all the time. She has an amazing podcast. It's called Andy Talks Energy. And if you don't follow it or check it out, please go check it out. There's a lot of crap out there. I scroll through it, like you guys know. I just scroll, scroll, scroll. And one of the things that I don't do on that is scroll. I catch myself listening to it, and it's very educational. It's very, very in tune with what's going on today, and you really should be paying attention to. I don't know why. Again, when she puts it out there, apparently she's put out some later ones that she had out earlier. She put some out recently that were out earlier, like a couple of years ago, and she's reposting them. I'm really happy she is because it's really, really good content. So I was thinking, like, yeah, I would love to do that, you know. So I'm tossing that around, and just to give you guys an idea of like why I talk about certain people and not others. Uh, you guys know that my mentor was John Edward. He's the one that got me on my path with this work. And over the years, there's one thing that he always said to me, which was kind of a compliment. He always said, "You're really good at seeking out bullshit." He's like, "You're really good at, like, seeing people for who they are in the moment." Like, if there's somebody new coming into the, circle somehow, or if there was, meeting somebody new on the road or somebody that was, like, in entertainment or something like that, I would always peg them right away when it came to their personality and who they were. And that was one of the things he always complimented me on, said, "You really know how to pick, like, you can feel the person immediately." I said, "Yeah, I can see right through them." So when I talk about certain people on here, and there's a lot of us in this field that are really just full of shit. I'm just going to say it. I don't care what they're saying or what they're talking about. It doesn't feel real. And when I say it doesn't feel real, I don't feel it's theirs. It's not their information. It's not really coming from them. And that's why I did a post a couple days ago about people stealing content. And when other people talk about certain things, it feels real to me. It feels like, wow, that's original, or hey, that's their idea, or they just came up with that. And it's very rare. I scroll a lot. I really do a lot of scrolling. And I'll go like bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. It could be really accurate, but I don't feel like it's their content. I don't feel like it's they're the ones that came up with the idea. I feel like they watched somebody else do it and then they kind of took it and turned it around a little bit and made it theirs. But you can feel the difference between somebody who's legit, real, doing it for the right reasons, and then other people that just want likes and follows. Okay. So That's why I listen to her podcast. So if you don't, you got to figure out and think about why you don't, or what's turning you off to it, or why you don't want to do that. Because I'm going to tell you, very, very good content. So you can really, really learn a lot there. I know I have already. So she'll probably never see this, but I've learned a lot just listening to it. So yeah, I would like to do my own podcast. Yes, I'll be answering questions tonight, not personal questions. No, I don't like to do personal questions on the lives. I like to do questions that are, related to everybody, or content that everybody can benefit from. But I will be doing a reading on here tonight. Okay. Uh, no, we don't really have any disagreements. We don't have. We agree this. We look at the work the same way. Oh, thanks, Christine. You would listen to my podcast. Well, you know what? I'm really contemplating it. I really am. There's just a lot I have to say. Hey, happy hour helpers. You'll check out that podcast? Yeah, go check it out. I am like a seeking bullshit detector. I really am. So when I get pulled to something and it's feeling like this is really good to watch or listen to, I'm going to recommend it very much so. Christine, are you completely booked for personal readings on your website? So if you go to the Stan Store link in my bio here, I have a couple of openings for July. June's completely booked out. July's a couple openings, but I'm going to be putting out a newsletter for August, September, and October. Okay, I do them in chunks. So, um, like I did a newsletter in January, and then I did one in March, and now I'm going to do one in June, and then I'll be doing another one probably in October. So I usually put that out in chunks. So I'll be filling up the calendar for those 3 months. Okay, so again, I put a lot of readings up. So they do sell out, which is good. I'm very grateful for that, and I appreciate your support on all that. But I always try to make sure I do the right thing too. I had readings all week last week, and they went really well. So I'm happy about that. And when I say they go well, I mean everybody was able to place information. You know what I mean? It's like they can place it. I don't look for the big wows. I really look for consistency when I do readings. It's I'd rather get off the phone knowing like everything landed where it needed to, and that the person I was reading benefited from it, and they understood what was coming through, and they got the message. That's all I care about. So when that happens, I'm very happy. Let's see. Oh, I for some reason my comments would stop moving, and I didn't understand why. I must have touched the screen. Uh, Well, that's unfortunate, Beth. Beth wrote, "Would have to have a reading in person. Not gonna happen." No, I don't do in-person readings anymore. To me, it doesn't make a difference if it's on the phone, if it's in person, if it's, 6,000 miles away. I was reading somebody that was from South Africa. We would just do it over the phone. It was a little awkward, and I read a lot of people from Australia over the phone as well. So, yeah, I have no problem doing that. Sometimes people feel like they need to be in person, and you don't. It doesn't change the energy. It's no different, whether you're in person or it's over the phone or, like I said, 8, 9,000 miles away. It doesn't make a difference. Energy is energy. It can be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So you don't have to be in the presence of the medium. It doesn't make anything better. It really doesn't. Uh, Sometimes I used to do in person readings, and that was fun because you always knew, like when somebody sat down in front of you, you just knew like, oh, this is just going to be an absolute nightmare, or this is going to be really good. And you would be surprised. The ones that were more skeptical, a little bit reserved, and kinda pulled back, made me feel comfortable. Those are the ones I feel like, "Oh, this is gonna be a good reading," because 'cause they're really just looking for something that makes sense. I have other people that would sit in front of me, put their legs in that triangle, you know, thing, and they would put their hands up, and they would just like before the reading, and I'm just, like, standing there going like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "Well, I'm just, I'm just connecting with the energy." And I'm like, "You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that." But it would make me uncomfortable because they just felt like if they did that, they would have a better connection. Then there's other people that would, like, squeeze their fists. When I did live groups in, like, I think the last live group I did was 2013. And like I said, I have some new ones up for September. But, there would always be that one person one time was in the front row, and they just got on the floor and started stretching. I mean, right in the middle of the live event. I don't know, I had 40 people there or something like that, and it was like, she just laid on the floor right where I was standing and just started stretching, and I'm just like, "Can I help you? Do you think that's appropriate to do at the moment?" Like, maybe you might wanna leave the room and do that or go in the back. I don't know, she just thought it was, like, okay to just, lay on the floor and start stretching, which everybody sitting there was going like, "What the hell?" That was funny, actually. Uh, let's see. Oh, thanks, Beth. I'm gonna stay away from religion tonight. Somebody's asking me a couple questions around religion stuff, and I'm just like, I don't feel like going there. Uh, share. I was listening to the book Infinite Quest and heard the story of your first telephone reading. You knocked it out of the park. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't even remember that reading. I'd have to go back and look at the book. I have no idea. I don't hold on to information at all, but I remember the person I was reading was somebody that they got on the phone for me. Like, they knew the person, and they just put them on the phone, and then I read them, and she said after I was done with my first reading, she goes, "I thought you said he was new at this," and that was a great compliment, so I will take it. Catherine S. Catherine St. John. Have you ever had any reading that completely shocked you? No, I can't say anything would really shock me at this point. I am very supportive of psychic fairs, Beth. See, that's the thing. Okay, here's the problem. Psychic fairs was the way it's like the old social media. Psychic fairs were the old social media. When somebody first started doing this work, they would go to a psychic fair and they would sit at a table and they would have like, they would advertise. Somebody would be running the fair and they would advertise it, like a month ahead of time. It's going to be at this particular hotel, psychics, mediums, card pullers, whatever. And you would get like 15 minutes and there would be a line of people out the door. And as they came up, they would say what they want, how they want it. And then they would go sit them down and you would have 15 minutes to read that person. That's the only way you would get experience back then. Today, we have social media. Anybody at any time can get experience around the work, and that's where we hit some trouble here. That's where things can get a little dicey, because if somebody's not ready for that, they start compensating with bullshit. I don't know how else to put it, but that's the truth. They just compensate with bullshit. It's like, let's throw a little flair on there. Let's make it sound a little woo woo. Let's get a little love in there. And then we'll just make this all like a reading. And it's like, everybody's like, wow, that was great. I'm like, wow, that was not great. That was just not great. So when you're doing like a fair, it's one on one, it's kind of private. You don't have the need to be right. You just want to read for that person. You're hoping that your information is correct and accurate. When you're on social media, there's a lot of pressure. And for the new people that are out there, the new people that are reading or trying to read, please give yourselves a little bit of a break. I mean, to throw yourself right on social media and say, I'm a medium, and then start doing this and then hope that, things lay out the way you want it to, that's a lot of pressure to put on you. And when you're not ready for that, that pressure can overtake you and close your column of light down very quickly because you're going to have a need to be right. And that's what gets in the way of the work. So, hey, I used to so fairs were awesome back then. They still have them, by the way. Yes, Amazon. With social media comes the bullshit, and you know it's out there. There's people watching this right now, or they're gonna watch the repeat later, who are in the field, who don't wanna give credit to people who do the work, the way they do it. They just wanna watch through either burner accounts or behind the scenes, and they wanna, like, steal information. They wanna use it. They're watching to find out different ways of saying things. I mean, not to bring it up again, but the one person I think is, like, ripped off constantly is Andy Ray, like, constantly. I went back to 2022 to 2026. Information consistent all the way through. All the way through. If I'm gonna support somebody, I wanna know they're consistent, right? All the way through consistent. Everybody else, flip-flops. They flip-flop. Whatever's popular in the moment, that's what they support. Something else becomes popular, they support that. I'm not supporting that person. I'm just not doing it. Consistency, that's what I'm looking for. And that's what I look for in my work as well. And I'm hoping that you see that as well, because that's what it should be. Consistent. Oh, D. D just great question, D. Why do some mediums react surprised when a sitter validates what they're saying? Like, why are you shocked? Bingo, man. I just watched this maybe about a month ago. I was watching four mediums on TikTok and they were doing like I guess a live together. And oh no, that wasn't live. It was a recording of a live and they took out this clip. And this clip was one of the women that were in the box. It was like two women, two men. I can't remember who was in the who it was, but uh, she just said a name, and she said, "I'm seeing this name, blah blah." blah," And the person they were reading said, "Oh, that's my mom's name." And she just stopped in her tracks and went, like she was in shock that she got the name. And all the other mediums were like, "Oh, that's great that you got that." And then they put a title on it. They put a title on it. It said, "See this every time. This person does this all the time." And I'm like, "No, they don't. They don't do this all the time. Because if they did, they wouldn't have a reaction to it like that. They just wouldn't. You get a name, you move on. You get something information that hits, that clicks, and they understand it. You just move on from there. It's a validation. You shouldn't act excited. You shouldn't be excited about that if you're a medium. Getting a name. I mean, come on. Let's get real here. But yeah, that's a good point. But it was funny. They just wrote like, "Oh, she does this all the time." It's like, you'll see this all the time. I'm like, I don't think so. Not the way she reacted to that one. But again, people reveal themselves. They reveal who they are. And that's what you have to watch out for. So while you're out there watching mediums and psychics do their work, look for the reveals because the negativity will always reveal itself. It cannot hide. It will always reveal itself either through their ego or something, but it'll show up in some way. And I feel like my job right now is to educate as much as possible for the public so that they know what to look out for because there's just so much crap out there. It's getting kind of scary. And if nobody says anything, it's just going to keep going that way. So if you're tired of me talking about it, oh well. Uh yeah, that's one of the big major red flags is checking out stuff like that. Oh, that's cool. Miss Patty Mack is saying hi to Letty. Hey, Stacy. Gabriella, are soul contracts real? I do believe they're real. I mean, they're not in paper, but I do believe soul contracts are real. I do believe that just there's reasons why we're coming here. And there's certain things that we need to learn and hopefully help others learn. I don't believe that I have only my lessons to learn, and that's all. That's the only reason why I'm here. I know that the universe, or I should say, the higher source, puts us together to learn multiple lessons all at the same time. So there's things that like my oldest daughter will be learning from me, and I will be learning from her. My youngest son will be learning things from me. I will be learning things from him. There'll be other people in their lives that they'll be learning from, and then hopefully teach me around things too. So it's just continuous. I don't think there's any one lesson that's here to be learned. I think that's very, very complex, and it is part of the soul contract. So I do believe in an aspect of the soul contract. Yes. So, good question so far. Okay, oh my god, Ticonderoga. I wanna say Ticonderoga, but, that's not what it says here. Because Fort Ticonderoga was a place I went to when I was a kid. What do you think of all the tarot readers on YouTube nowadays? Listen, if they say they're tarot readers, I have no issue with it. My problem with tarot readers is if they say they're a medium. That's when I have a problem with it. There's people that are graduating so-called schools right now, or they're taking courses in schools, and they're talking about being mediums, and then they come out with tarot cards. I'm like, "Didn't you just go to school to learn not to do that? Like, why are you pulling tarot cards out?" So, you know, it's pretty much a shit show at this point. Uh, Thanks, happy aura helpers. You saying names is probably the funniest part of your lives, and she means I'm assuming she means the names that, I'm reading on here. Amazon Ria 88, love hearing the young talk about this subject. They seem more open to this. You know, they really do. My only issue is, a lot of people don't experience passings or death till they're older. A lot of people. Some people got, unfortunately got to experience that when they were younger. But the programming of how this work is done needs to shift a little bit. It's very, very geared toward death, obviously. And again, you'll hear Andy Ray talk about this all the time. I always give credit where credit's due. Um, but our loved ones don't want to talk about death anymore. They're tired of talking about it. "Oh, your mom passed from the, congestive heart failure." "Yeah." "You didn't get to see her before she passed." "No." Those are the things that come up in readings all the time. They're great validations because people experience that, and people wanna have closure around the passing, and I get that. I totally get that, but that doesn't mean that's what this is for. So this work needs to shift a little bit on how it's looked at because they don't just want to talk about that. They want to talk about what's going on in your day. They want to talk about what's happening in your life. They want to talk about things that you did or that they saw. Current events are becoming a huge part of my readings now. Current events used to be like the little thing that would pop up in the end or something in the middle or to say, oh, yeah, that happened. But a lot of my readings now are very current event focused because they want us to know they're with us. And what better way to show us that than to talk about what we just did? That's why current events are so important. Uh, yeah, the dead are like, "Been there, done that." Absolutely, Catherine. Yeah, it's kinda cool. It's one of my favorite parts of the readings when I do them. When I do a private reading, my one of the favorite parts is current events, and what I've learned in the last couple of years too, is that not only do they see what we've done or how we did it or maybe who we did it with, but they also can hear our thoughts. Now, I didn't believe that a few years ago. I really didn't. I didn't think they could I didn't think they can go in. I didn't think they can get our thoughts. But they can. They absolutely can because it'll come up in readings and it'll come in as a thought. Like, "You were just thinking about that?" "Yeah, I was." Or I'll say, "You had a conversation about that." And they're like, "Well, I never told anybody." But they still had the conversation with themselves, and that counts as a conversation, and that's how it would come up. So it's kinda cool to see the validation of something that was never spoken about, but thought about that same day. So that's kinda cool. I like that kinda stuff. Remember, dates come into play. Um, Special occasions, things like that. Passings, obviously, how they pass, those things come into play, health issues, current events, um, all that kind of stuff. These are all the ways they come through to validate that it's them. What I'm just seeing, though, is things shifting a little bit. Things are shifting more from the negative aspect of the passing or the closure that's needed because of the passing, and more toward, "Hey, we're part of your life. We just wanna say hi. We wanna let you know we're around." And that's the cool part. Uh, Dalen Dalina Gould, what other beliefs of yours have shifted? Let's see. What other beliefs of mine have shifted? I have gone from not being I was never really super religious, but I have gone from being like, you know, understanding of religion to kind of looking at it with almost like a side eye. I really do believe it's man made on some levels. or I should say altered by man or influenced by man. I do believe the basics on religion are very, very um, accurate and good to know. I believe every religion, when you look at the basis of it, comes from the right place. It just gets altered and shifted and kind of beat up over the years by man based on whatever we want it to be at the moment. Like, well, we want it to be this, or we'd like to start a war, but well, we can't just start a war. Oh, we'll do it in the name of God. Like that. Then now we're okay. Now we could steal everybody's land and kill them all off. Like that's okay. So yeah, I've shifted my thinking around that. Um, I used to think that people were inherently good. Um, I still kind of believe that one. I still kind of believe that everybody's inherently good. I just think that it's so easy to go off track. And that's when we talk about the negative energy that's out there, that kind of wiggles its way in and kind of keeps you from being the best you possible, making those choices that are not really good for you or anybody around you. So I'm going to say, I would always think like, well, good always prevails, but it doesn't. Good doesn't always prevail. Sometimes we have to recognize that unless we make a shift or a change, good's never gonna have a chance, and I think that's something we're all learning right now. Mirth. Everyone we knew are watching us whenever they want. Yes, yes, there's no hiding, there's no secrets. They can see everything. It's not an issue, though. I promise you they don't care. Oh, thanks, Day. Okay, we're up to 90 people. I said if I hit 100, I'll do a reading right away. The nice Karen. I like that name, the nice Karen. I had to like, who's the bad Karen? Like, oh, Karen, right? That's the terminology we use for Karen. I get it. The nice Karen. Do you ever get a heads up on world events? Yeah, I do. It's not my thing. I don't really like doing it. It's not my forte. But yeah, once in a while, I'll be staring out the window of my car, going like, oh, and then like a month later, it'll happen. But it's not my thing. Uh, yeah, it is a good name. I like that name. Kelda, in my experience, psychopaths and sociopaths are not inherently nice. No, they're not. Yes, Amanda. Andy Ray's podcast is called Andy Talks Energy. Yes. And I know she put out an episode last week that I listened to. I mean, I got to tell you, sometimes my head's spinning. Sometimes my head's spinning. I'm like, what? Like, how? What? As you guys know, I'm very grounded and like very basic and simple. And she's got a lot of information. She knows a lot of stuff. So hats off. Everybody loves Karen's handle. So Karen, take a bow. Everybody loves your handle. She said, "Thank you." Uh, oh, hey, Heather. Since Heather's new, I will answer this question. Hi, new here. A friend who is here now invited me to join. Well, welcome. What would you say are the most common ways for our past loved ones to let us know they are currently with us? Okay, so the most common way is through feelings and emotions. Now, we don't really like to use those as people because we feel like we can't depend on them. Feelings and emotions kind of flip, right? Like we could be angry one minute, happy the next, sad the next, frustrated, jealous, right? These are all feelings and emotions that we deal with as humans. But clairsentience is also a form of connection. There's clairvoyance, which is seeing, right? When a media makes a connection, they'll see pictures, symbols in their head, clairvoyance. Clairaudience is hearing thoughts, right? We'll get information through actually hearing it. And then there's one of my favorite is clairsentience, which is feelings and emotions, getting information through how it makes you feel. Accurate information, by the way, not just like, "Oh my god, I feel like I love them." It's like feeling like you're in a situation. Like, I feel like I'm in a room right now, and, it's like the walls are like this, and then, "Oh, yeah, that's my living room," that kind of thing. So you get a lot of information through clairsentience. When we're connecting with our loved ones on the other side, we're kinda limited because a medium will use dates. Well, we kinda know our dates, right? We know when somebody's passed that we're connected to or what their birthday was or other birthdays in the family. We know all those already, so they can't use those. We know how they passed, so we can't really get that as information either because we know how they, left this world. We know a lot of things around, obviously all the names, right? We know all the names of, my grandmother's coming through. She's not gonna use her name because I already know that. So what's the one thing they could actually come through with? Feelings, emotions, helping you to tap into yours and to recognize when they're around. Mediums use it all the time. But when people want to connect with their own families, they never think of using that. They don't think of that. Like if they are walking down the street, or say you're walking down the street, minding your own business, and then all of a sudden, like your mom pops in your head who might have passed, you're automatically going to write that off. You're automatically going to say, well, I was just thinking about my mom and that's it. And I'm going to tell you that's not it. That is their way of connecting. We have to trust our feelings and emotions when it comes to them coming through. We have to trust that that's a real thing. We're not just making it up. We're not. Now listen, I'll say this all the time. If you're sitting at a table looking at a picture of your mom and then you're thinking about times you had with your mom, yeah, that's a thought, okay? That's not a download. But when you're just doing something and then they pop in your head out of nowhere, that's them like kind of tapping you on the shoulder, like, or, whatever, like, hey, I'm popping in saying hi, hope everything's good. And your job in that moment is to go, like, hey, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. I love you too. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. That's the easiest way to make the connection. Um, as you become more involved with the work or understanding how it works, you can start creating symbols and signs for them. So a lot of people have different symbols. The common ones are obviously, hummingbirds, blue jays, things like that, feathers. Those are great ways for, anybody to make a connection with their loved ones. Just assign them a uh, a symbol of some sort, and when they come through with it, you can use it to say hi. I like when I see this message is held for review. Like, I wanna know what that is. Oh, it says view message. Let's see. It was a stupid question. Okay. Uh, hmm. I don't know if I should answer that one. I am going to. Christine, when a person takes their own life on this planet, what does the other side loved one think? I don't think they think about anything. It's not thinking is a human thing. We think because we're here. We apply everything to thinking and thought process, right? Because we're human. On the other side, we're not human anymore. We're all knowing. We are basically a high vibrational energy on the other side. So they're not going like, oh, I can't believe you did that. It's more like, well, what brought that about? What are the lessons that needed to be learned? Did they learn their lessons? Did they not learn their lessons before they left? I guess they're going to have to repeat that life and learn it. So I don't think they have a feeling and an emotion around it. As humans, they want us to have the best life possible. They want us to learn our lessons, but have fun here. We're not just here to work, guys. We're not here to work. It is an absolute privilege to be here. And we're supposed to do amazing things with it, not just work to the bone. Like we work so hard because we have to pay bills. And we wouldn't have bills if things weren't set in place that way, but that's just the way it is. So we have to do it. So it's not what our intent was to be here. We're not here to work. We're here to learn. We're here to learn lessons. Work just happens to be part of that because we have to survive and eat. So that's what we have to do. But they want us to have a good time. They want us to have fun while we're here, enjoy life because this is the one place we get to have choice. And if you choose to just work your life away, that's not a good choice, I think. You have to make time for fun. You have to make time for pleasantries. You have to make time for being with the people you care about. You have to make time for that. Because if you don't, you're going to look back and go, well, that went fast and I just wasted it. There's not one old person I know that didn't say that to me. Not one. I don't care how successful they were. They all said, wow, this went really fast. Make sure you have time, make sure you make time for things because you never know, before you know it, it's over. So, ain't that the truth? I really apologize if my body's making all these wacky noises. I ate before like really fast and my body's just like making sounds. It's just weird. And I know this microphone picks up everything. Sharon wants to validate. I'm old. It did go fast. I'm so sorry, Sharon. I hope you had fun with it though. What was the meal? Well, I had pizza tonight. I had chicken cutlets for lunch, and then I had pizza for dinner. It's Sunday. You got to have pizza. All right, here's what we're gonna do. It's already it's 9:40, so I want to read somebody on here. Okay. Um, hold on. Yeah. Okay. So what I'd like you to do, I'm gonna take my glasses off for a second. If you're new on here, um, I don't always do a reading on here, but most of the time I do. And what I like to do is hopefully connect you with somebody that you want to hear from. Okay, on the other side. That's what this is all about. Um, I like to do direct readings, which means I like to pick somebody from the audience and read them. Now, when I do them on here or I do them on TikTok, I do ask who you want to connect with. Um, some people have a problem with that, and I know they're right. They should have a problem with that, because it's like kind of leading the person. It's like, well, who do you want to connect with? My mom. Okay, well, see if your mom's here. But if you back it up the right way, it's fine. When I used to do radio, or if I would do, um, situations like this where it's like fast reading, because like if I like to use the clip of this and put it, on a post, it has to be kind of fast. And when I used to go on the radio, I would do radio stations around. I did a couple on Long Island. I did Pennsylvania, up in Syracuse. I did a radio station. It's like you want to get in fast. So you want to say like, "Hey, who would you like to connect with?" Because there's somebody that they want to connect with, and if that's the person they want to connect with, and you're talking about somebody else, they're gonna go, "No, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about," because they don't want to acknowledge it because that's the one they want to connect with. So I'm gonna let you know right here and right now. You're gonna write who you want to connect with: mom, dad, son, daughter. Don't give me any names. Don't give me any details. I'm gonna open up to whoever it is that you want to connect with. That doesn't mean I'm gonna get them. And I will say this to every single time I do this live. I will say the same exact thing. That does not mean I'm going to get them, but I am going to ask real nice. I'm going to ask for that person to step forward. And the reason or the way we're going to know it's them is if they start getting information around either them or you that makes sense for you. It's clicking. It's going together. Dates, birthdays, health issues, what they passed from, current events, things that are going on around you, things that are happening around you, names connected to you or them in your life. Okay. I like to take things 2 or 3 steps down. So if I just get a name, I want to add to that. I want to get something else around it. Um, I believe that if every medium's job is to become more and more in tune with their work and to get better at it. There's nobody on this planet that's done learning. I don't care how popular they are or how famous they are. You're never done learning in this field. You always want to get better at it. So you got to push yourself. You got to push yourself. And if they don't understand it, they don't understand it. So I will say this now. If you say no to me, I'm fine with it. I don't get flustered. I don't go like, "Oh my god, well, maybe it's this or maybe it's that." I see people, like, start backpedaling when somebody doesn't get what they're saying. They're like, "Well, maybe it's not that, maybe it's not that, um, what do you call it, focused. Maybe we should pan out a little bit and, widen up the." No, I'm not widening up anything. If I give you something, hopefully you know what it means, you're able to place it. If you're not, just promise me you'll write it down. Because what's one of the things we can get that cannot be validated in the moment? Future information. I don't know if any of you saw it, but somebody that I read, I think it was on here, um, put up a post on TikTok, and they have me. I guess they took a clip of the live, and I'm just talking, and I'm all of a sudden I just stop, and I'm like, they're telling me like there's going to be an issue with your washer machine or your dryer, And she said, I'm gonna write it down. I said, yeah, that's all I asked for. Just write it down. And right after that, the next scene was her washing machine jumping all over the place because the guy was there. I think it was her dryer. Her dryer broke, and the guy was there to fix it. So it's kind of funny. So it was a good clip, and I appreciate stuff like that. It's good feedback. All right, Lynn, Ty. No, sorry, not Lynn. Ty Condora. Ty Condoro wrote dad. Okay, let's do that. I always like doing random. Ty Condoro. So I'm gonna write Ty Condoro and dad. Okay, everybody else stop typing for a second. I just need Ticonderoga to write back yes in capital letters. It signifies that we're going to make a link and a connection. And everybody else stop typing for a second. It'll go a lot quicker. You're welcome to hit the hearts if you want, though. Okay, Ticonderoga wrote yes, and we're going to talk hopefully. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up to your energy, okay? I'm going to ask dad to step forward nicely again, but stay open. I could have grandmother, grandfather, uncle, friend of yours that's passed. Just stay open. But that person could pull through who you want to hear from. And they might do it with a name, a date, what that person did for a living. But it's something that's designed to trigger you. It's designed to trigger you. It's designed to make you go like, wait a minute. That could be this person. You're always allowed to give me the connection. Just don't give me any names or anything additional. Okay. All right. I'm gonna open up. Okay, the first thing I'm getting, hold on. You said dad, right? You said dad. Hold on. Um, where would be Kevin or Kenny for you, Taekwondo? Where would be the K name male, like Kevin or Kenny? I don't know if I have dad yet. So I'm seeing like Kevin, Kenny, Ke, male connected to you, living or past. And remember, guys, we're on chat here, so it goes really slow. So just be patient. And Taekwondo, I don't care if it's I don't know a male with a K name. Okay, that's fair. They just show me like Kevin or Kenny, either living or past, and they're showing me the eighth of a month having a meaning, like the number eight, birthday or anniversary connected to the family around the eighth of a month. And I don't like to throw out a bunch of stuff and wait for an answer, so I'm going to do it one at a time. But they show me the eighth of a month having a meaning. So it could be like June 8th, July 8th, September 8th, something on the eighth of a month, birthday and anniversary connected to the family. I am still seeing a K name male, but I feel like the K was connected to dad. Like he was friends with the Kevin or Kenny. So I'm just putting that out there, but it's like a Kevin Kenny sounding name. Still doesn't ring a bell. Okay. Just remember the eighth of a month, birthday or an anniversary, connect to either a sibling, a friend, somebody around you, eighth of a month. And where would I put the person? Did you want me to talk about somebody working in finance around you too? So who works in finance or works with money? I see you, Rocky. And you could take the postcard, you could take the hit, you could take the piggyback, but definitely with Taekwondo. Taekwondo, they're telling me you have this. You have to think bigger than just dad. To go outside dad for a second. So if we want to connect with dad, that's great. But if I'm getting something around you, connected to you, around family, friends, they show me these things have meaning. So who works in like finance? They want me to talk about somebody finance. I don't know, but I do around stuff with the stock market for fun. Um, no, I can't take that. They're telling me to talk about somebody around you that works literally in finance or money, or and if you see me do this live, I can say this. Somebody or you just moved money around, and I don't mean like stock market. I'm seeing money in finance. So It's either somebody around you works in that industry or you just moved money around for something, like a good chunk of money. And then going back to the 8th again, or the number 8. So remember the number 8 has a meaning. Again, it feels like a birthday, but it could be an anniversary. But they show me the number 8 or no. Okay, and Gemini, they're waving to the Gemini living. So whose birthday's coming up? End of June, beginning of July. If you moved money around for yourself, that would work for me. Can I? I don't want to ask you the amount. Okay, back up. I know we're chatting. This is harder. The money that you just moved for yourself, would you say that was an amount that was kind of like it's not like $5? I feel like I'm going like, all right, I'm gonna move this over here. It's feeling like a large sum or what you would consider to be a large sum from one place to another. Does that make sense? Sure. Okay. Mm, mm, I just did. I don't know, this is not making sense. Is a decent amount, but I don't know anyone in finance. No, it's okay. I have 2 meanings for it. It's either gonna mean like you're connected to somebody in finance or you personally just moved money around for something. It's like their way of saying we saw that. They keep showing me the 8th. I keep seeing 8, 8, and I keep asking if it's August. They're like, "No, it's not August. It's the 8th of a month." So there's a birthday or an anniversary connected to you and the family on the 8th of a month. And there's a birthday right now too. That's what I wanted. Gemini. Whose birthday? End of May, beginning of June. May 22nd to June 21st. Living, by the way. Gemini has to be living because they're waving to the Gemini, which means the Gemini's here. Now, who is that for you? Who pops in your head? Gemini, connected to you here. Oh my god, I gotta get rid of these people. We're getting. I used to have an aunt, but she parted last year. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Oh my god. You gotta figure out this 8. They're not letting me around it. So just so you guys know, like I'll hit it's like I hit the wall. It's like I sometimes I can go around it, but they're not letting me go around it. They just keep saying 8, 8. Something around the 8th of a month, birthday or an anniversary. It's gotta have meaning for you or connected to your family. Did not let me move. I hate when this happens. And he want me to talk about the 2 children too, the 2 kids in the family. So where would be one of 2 around you? Okay. I don't have a large family. I don't know anything about the 8. Okay, just promise me you'll write it down. And if you figure it out, promise me you'll put it on one of the posts on here. Just post it up here. Be like, "Hey, I found out what the 8th is or the number 8." But they're telling me 8 has a meaning, and he wants me to talk about the family with the 2 kids. Okay. Sure. Thank you. Okay. And where would be the 2 kids? Like either you're one of 2. I'm gonna add to this by the way, but they show me like 2 kids total. Sure. Okay. Y doesn't ring a bell either. So sorry. Okay, listen, it's all good. So when I get 2 kids, that's 2 pregnancies, 2 total children, 2 total pregnancies. So it could be 1 child, 1 miscarriage, 2 total children, but they show me the 2. So I don't know if, like, dad was one of 2, mom was one of 2. I need to know where the 2 is. I'm trying to grab onto where I need to go here, but they're telling me it's something around 2 total children or the 2 total pregnancies. And do you have a connection to the 16th of a month? They show me the 16th having a meaning too. And again, this is just my way of working in. I just gotta get in. I'm not in, by the way. I am not in, but I'm trying to get my way in, and I'm not feeling it. And never be sorry. If you don't understand what I'm saying, it's totally fine, and you're doing it great. You're just saying, "Hey, I don't know what the hell you're talking about." I'm totally fine with that. My aunt-in-law, if that's a thing. Okay, what about your aunt-in-law? Because that might just trigger for me what we're talking about. So, what do you mean by aunt-in-law? Is that the 16th? Like, is that their birthday? Or remember, we're just typing here. If this was a conversation we were having, this would be going a lot smoother. But unfortunately, we have to talk this way on here. I don't have a choice. 16th is their birthday. Okay. So you just said aunt-in-law. So I don't know if you're male or female, but I want you to go to your spouse's side of the family. Go to spouse's side of the family for this information. Where would be the 2 kids? It doesn't have to be your family. I want to know where the 2 kids are. And that's the reason why they gave me the 16th was to validate we're probably on the other side of the family. Like, who's got 2 kids on that side? Sorry, I mean my aunt. Okay, so it's not an aunt-in-law. So you're saying that it's a married-in aunt. Is that what you're saying? She has 2 children. Okay. All right. So and that's all I need. I just need things to click. They're telling me to talk about the 16th of a month, something around the 2 kids. Yes. Okay. So she was married into the family. Now, is this on mom's side of the family? Would you put this on mom's side though? Like, I know you wanna hear from dad, but would we say that aunt was married in on mom's side of the family? Yes, my mother's side. Okay, so that's we're just getting information going in the same place, and that's all I need. Now, they're also telling me on that side of the family, somebody works in healthcare too. On mom's side of the family, somebody's either a nurse or a doctor or they work in healthcare. If it is dad, I'm not saying it is dad, but if it is, that would work as well because they would be married to mom. But otherwise, I want to say on mom's side of the family, also nurse, doctor, healthcare connection. Who would that be for you? Just give me the connection, not the name. So hard to do on a chat. Only 'cause the information comes quicker and we have to slow it down. Okay. Nobody works in healthcare on that side, just one person at administration in the past. Okay. Healthcare administration, that's healthcare. Now, who would that person be? What's that connection for you? Healthcare administration, that's healthcare. Who would that be for you? I'm trying to paint my picture here. And there's an L female on that side too. A niece? Okay. So if that niece is in administration healthcare, there's show me an L name female connected to that side too around mom. We're actually connected to you. Who'd be like Lori? Lori. or Laura. It's like LA. I know this has nothing to do with your dad, but it's my way in. So mhm. I'm just waiting for Ticonderoga to respond to the L name female, either connected to them or around family, like Lori or Laura. Not that I know, but to be honest, they niece has some children that I don't know that well. Just it doesn't have to be around that niece, it's gotta be on that side of the family. They keep telling me, "Put it on mom's side, put it on mom's side." So there's like a Laura, Lori, Lisa, L female on mom's side of the family, and somebody passed from asphyxiation too. They're showing me somebody passing from asphyxiation. I don't know who it is, but they're making me feel like they could not breathe, and not because of the lungs. Of course, we gotta get to something heavy, but they're showing me, like, somebody passing from asphyxiation. So I'm gonna ask you, around you, who passed that either had, like could not get air? It would have to be on the outside of the body, like, not being able to get air, or the air was cut off, air supply. If you're watching right now, I'm just doing a trying to do a reading for Ticonderoga. They wanted to connect with their dad. Um, I still don't think I have dad, but, we're working our way there. I don't know who we have yet, but they're showing me somebody passing from asphyxiation. That's what I'm waiting for a validation on that. That would be different than, like, lung problems. Like, lung issues are, like, here. This is, like, not being able to get air, so be something keeping the air from getting in. So that could be like, a throat issue, blockage, something around the neck or throat. It could be, carbon monoxide, like that, somebody passing from carbon monoxide poisoning, but it's feeling like asphyxiation around it. My grandmother and father had breathing difficulties at the end of their lives due to other illnesses, cancer. See, that's I knew it. That's not what I want. That makes sense, but that's internal. They're showing me not being able to breathe because of something external. I'm just gonna flat ask you, do you know anybody that passed from a hanging? Anybody connected to you or friends that literally passed from, like, hanging or asphyxiated, like they closed off their air supply? Because 'Cause I'm not feeling this is an air problem from internal, this is an air problem from not getting it. Like, somebody could not get the oxygen, they couldn't get the air into their lungs. Yes, choking would count. Choking absolutely counts because that's not being able to get air. It's not about the lungs. I feel like the lungs are well, I'm not saying the lungs are fine, but that they're not the problem. Apparently, a family member a long time ago that I never knew, like in the 60s or so. Okay, what though? Apparently, you're not telling me what it is. Apparently, a family member a long time ago that I never knew, like in the 60s or so, they did what? What happened to them? And the reason why I'm asking that question is 'cause I already forgot what I asked you because it's going so slow, and you're answering, but I need to know what that was for. Nope, I'm talking to only Ticonderoga. I know other people are gonna be able to connect with this, that's fine, but I need to know from Ticonderoga. They were talking about a family member that passed a long time ago, but I don't know from what. I gotta make sure it fits what I'm feeling. So far, they said somebody who had lung cancer, that's not it. It doesn't fit. This feels more like either a hanging or strangulation or, um, cutting off of air supply, but it's gotta be for Ticonderoga. And take your time. There's no rush here. I got nothing to do until I'm done. Ticonderoga. Again, we're just waiting for a response on the apparently a family member a long time ago that I never knew, like in the 60s or so. We're just wanting to get what that was or a cause of passing that relates to what I'm saying. There we go. I am typing. Okay. That's the only way we're gonna get it is if you're typing anyway. So you can type. And again, I'm just looking for the cause of passing. It has to match what I'm feeling. Hi, Susan. Suzanne. Just trying to do a reading for Ticonderoga. Hanging. Okay, thank you. It wouldn't let you show the reading, what you were writing for some reason. I had to open it up, so I appreciate you honoring that. I feel like that person's coming through from your family. Um, Now they also want me to talk about using a dog as a lead-in. Would dad have a German Shepherd with him or a Husky connected to the family? Ticonderoga. I feel like I was just supposed to validate that person coming through from your family that came through, passed from a hanging. And I do feel like it was on that same side of the family, but now I feel like I can shift, and I feel like I'm seeing a German Shepherd or Husky type dog pass first coming through. Dogs are lead-ins for me, so the feeling would be like dad would be behind that dog or connected to it in some way. I would throw a collie into that mix as well because they have the same kind of silhouette for me, but it is feeling more like shepherd type. And thank you for validating that Ticonderoga. I keep wanting to say Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga. My mother used to have a German Shepherd when she was young. Okay, so your dad is behind the German Shepherd to connect to your mom. That's all. They're just showing. Sometimes dogs are lead-ins for me. It's their way of like pulling them in. And who currently has a Chihuahua? Somebody around you currently either has a Chihuahua or a Rat Terrier, according to them. So we're going from like German Shepherd sized dog past to somebody currently like a Rat Terrier or a Chihuahua or anything teacup related. I would take. It's like feeling really tiny. Like I could stick this dog in one hand. Mhm. And take your time. No rush. A neighbor who my father knew and I knew well too. Okay, good. All right, so I feel like I have dad, okay? That's his way of sneaking in. I feel like I had to get the person that passed from the hanging first because they wanted to come in and say hi. We probably wouldn't known who that was. Dad wants me to talk about a Florida connection around you too. Actually, he's showing me an alligator. I don't know why he's showing me an alligator, but I'm supposed to highlight or talk about the alligator. But I would automatically assign that to Florida if that's in the US. So I don't know if there's a story around an alligator or a crocodile, but he's bringing it up. I went to Florida 3 years ago for work. I am from Europe, by the way. Oh, okay, so are you in Europe now? You held an alligator while you were there. Okay, I could take that. Your dad's t Oh, so you're in Europe right now, and you went to Florida 3 years ago for work. Alright, your dad's showing me that. He was showing me an alligator first and then talking about Florida. So he's validating your trip to Europe. I'm sorry, your trip to Florida. And who would be mm, and is Michael or connected to dad also? Dad's telling me he's connected to Michael. Shoot, I lost my place. Is that yes for the Michael? I'm so sorry. You held the alligator? Oh, no, and then I said, you're in Europe now." You said, "Yes," and then I said, "Who's Michael?" Okay, so I'm waiting for your response on the Michael. No, but Mike is my yeah, that's it. That's your connection. That's dad's way of saying hello to you because 'cause you're the one connected to Michael, okay? So, it's your best friend. It's dad's way of acknowledging it, and on top of that, he's telling me you definitely have a connection for the 5th of a month, the 5, the meaning. So, we might not know what 8 is, but he's telling me you know what 5 is. 5th of a month is my father's birthday. Okay. So please know that's his way of popping in to say hello. I'm sorry this took a lot longer than normal, but I feel like we were getting like hit by the other side of the family. And they wanted me to acknowledge the person that hung themselves. And it was just a way of kind of starting this off. And then dad showed up with the German Shepherd connect to your mom. And he was insisting you knew the 5th of a month. I hope this helped a little bit. I wish I could go longer with you, but this took longer than it should have. All right. So just know that's his way of popping in to say hello. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, guys. That's it. I like the way he said it too. He's like, he knows they know this one. They know this one, because it came to the 5th of a month. And I also reminds me that there's gonna be something around the 8th as well, okay? So remember that. All right, cool. I hope that helped a little bit. All right, guys. Um, I hope this helped a little bit tonight. We'll see what happens next week. I can go live next week, so I will be on here next week as well. I'll try to go maybe during the week as well, at some point, but, um, I'll see you guys again soon, all right? It was a pleasure. Um Yeah, I like to see the connections too, Christine. I just wish it was a little faster, but then, it's typing, it's hard. It's hard to get like, when you get information, it's, like, fast. It moves really quick, and then we have to, like, wait because it's like, well and then hopefully not forget what we said 2 seconds ago, but it moves quick. But again, we were able to connect some things there. I have to say one more thing. I don't know if you're still on, but your dad wants me to talk about, one of your taekwondo. Yeah, it's slow on the phone, I get it. Your dad's showing me somebody having an issue around one finger currently. Like, did anybody break their finger recently or bend it the wrong way or it's not working correctly? He's making it feel like somebody around you, it doesn't have to be you, but connected to you. Something's off with one finger. And if you want, you can give me a little detail on that if it makes sense for you. I just saw that you wrote yes, but I don't know what that yes is for, so I'm not gonna take that as a yes. I need you to kind of expand on that a little bit. Not that I know, to be honest. Okay, you know what? I hope you are honest. To be honest, no, I don't know what that is. Keep an eye out for that. He showed me like somebody having like missing a piece of their finger or something's not right with their finger, it's crooked, but he's highlighting the finger thing current, meaning like it's right now or it's coming up around you. So in the next day or two, if you're behind somebody, um, yes, you are honest. Okay, good. If there's somebody around you that's like got a splint on their finger or it just feels like if I make a fist, like, one finger stays up, like, it doesn't wanna close all the way, and he's telling me it's current. So just keep an eye out for that, and with his way of kinda coming through and saying hi to you as well, okay? Alright, cool. Alright, now I'm pulling back. Cynthia Corey, when is your son's wedding? It is actually on the middle of June. It's in the middle of June, so looking forward to that. Yeah, just keep an eye out, and if it shows up, Ticonderoga, just throw it on one of my posts. Like, no matter where you type it on my posts, I'll see it because I get notified for anybody that types anything. So it doesn't matter where you put it. It doesn't have to be on the live. You could write it on anywhere. Just be like, hey, I saw the thing with the finger. And by the way, the eighth is blah, blah, blah. I would love the feedback on that. Okay. All right, cool. All right, everybody. I'm going to say goodnight. Everybody have a great week. Start it off well. Stay positive if you can. If you can't, scream into the void and then go back to work. That's my advice for the week. All right. I hope this helped tonight. I'll see you guys again soon. All right. Take care.